Hey, it's Mark Still here with a little RebuildMark update. So in the last 9 days, I've ridden 5 times. Not enough, need to get more miles, but I will say that I'm feeling pretty much back to feeling cyclisty on a bike. And that's good because you can get used to things and you can worry about bike fit. But until you just settle in and get used to the bike again after so long off, I think that's kind of a milestone for me. So I'm excited. Do have to ride more. Will probably not make the milestones I had set for March. I got a 44-mile ride, but not a 50. And I don't think I'm going to make a 100-mile week, but I'm building momentum, and momentum is important. While I was riding this week, I tried something different out. I'd never tried the Garmin Varia rear radar system. I found it quite helpful. Around here, it seems like the speeds of cars is higher than where I last rode a lot. And I thought it was nice, especially on the quieter roads when the cars don't come as often, to have that. And the way it works is a little radar system that will make an amazing cacophony of sounds, which I turned off. It's too much sound, ruins a beautiful ride. But here on the head unit, a little lane will appear over here once this is paired, and the cars roll up past you, and it's very accurate. I found it easy to judge. It's enough warning. And then me at the very top, it's a little symbol of me riding. The car passes exactly then. I thought it was quite helpful. I wish it wasn't so noisy. That'd be nice. We talked about saddles before, and I had the saddle that came on the bike. It was a pretty basic physique saddle. Rides up to an hour, it seemed fine. The first time I got close to 2 hours, it was remarkably painful. So I swapped over to a Selle Italia flight, and it's a gravel saddle, and I'm going to do gravel. I rode Selle Italia flights for a long time, years and years ago. I think they're pretty good. This one's worked out. I've got probably 60 or 80 miles on it so far. So far, so good. But I do want to try some other ones out because 200 miles is different than 60 by at least 140. So I want to make sure it's going to be a comfortable ride. That's been fun. So bike fit's going to matter. And I look forward to getting with a professional bike fitter to sort that out. But I didn't want to do it too early because some of the aches and pains you feel when you get back on a bike after a long time off have nothing to do with bike fit. You just hadn't been on a bike in a while. But I feel like I'm at that point, need to get with the bike fitter because that 44-mile ride did tell me a couple things. And one important was my neck and shoulders hurt a fair amount about 3 hours in. So that's something that can be addressed with bike fit. And we will do that soon. Bike fit's going to be important. And a lot of times over the years, people have asked me about upgrades and making their bike faster. I always tell them to start up close to the body, and that is the body. So if you've never been for a professional bike fit, if you've never really explored comfort on a bike, some things should hurt like muscles, but your neck, your shoulders, your knees, your back really shouldn't hurt. So if you haven't tried a professional bike fit, I highly recommend that. The last time I rode a bike a lot, I was a lot smaller than I am now, width-wise. So I needed some clothing. Endura sent some wonderful gravel bibs and jerseys and some knee warmers and some shoe covers and all sorts of fun stuff. I've gotten a couple rides in those clothes and enjoyed them. I'll spend some more time in them and let you know what I think, but so far, so good. So most of my cycling life's been all about being a roadie. And I don't know that the overall clothing is all that different between road cycling and gravel, other than in being a roadie, we're thinking a lot more about light. We're thinking a lot more about aero. All the gravel stuff seems to be green for some reason. There's a lot of green, and there's pockets everywhere. These bib shorts have got pockets here and pockets back here. The jersey's got a pocket up front and zipper pockets in the back. So yeah, before I don't know that I really cared about that, but I'm sure I'll be looking for every place I can find to stash gels and snacks and tools. So it should be good, but I've never had that many pockets before. We'll see. I wore cargo shorts in the 80s. Maybe it'll be about the same having cargo bib shorts. Somebody just reminded me that we're about 8 weeks out for 200 miles.
You're 8 weeks out. How are you feeling generally?
God, that's frightening. I have to admit I hadn't thought of it that way this week. That's a little frightening. I really wish I had gotten to ride more in March, but I just didn't. And I got to live with that. But it really meant the momentum thing. I do feel some momentum. I do feel a lot better on the bike. I've got work to do, but 8 weeks is what I got. So we're going to make it work. So I mentioned I didn't really meet the milestones I set in March, but I'm an optimist and I made those milestones up anyway myself. So I'm just going to double down in April. I got to ride more often and I got to ride longer. And I do want to get the bike fit addressed because the longer I ride, the more that's going to become an issue. I think a lot of this has got to do with the bike itself. This Alchemy Ronin gravel bike is quite nice, but I'm not used to riding with such wide tires. And I've got to say, it's a different sensation. Both the geometry of this bike being a little more laid back than a typical road bike, having the wider tires. It's not been as big a deal as I thought it'd be to ride such rough roads on a rigid frame. So that gives me a little bit of confidence and hope maybe that a lot of that fatigue I thought might be there can really be handled by bike frame and tire and wheel combinations. Coming up soon, we'll be talking to Kristen Legan. I've been watching the updates they're posting from the Unbound gravel camp. Outstanding tips. It's exactly the kind of thing I was wanting. Not so much structured training, more a guidance towards approaching the event. I think that's going to be great. I look forward to talking to her. We're going to keep you updated on the mileage. It's transparent on Strava. It's pretty easy to see if I'm riding or not. Definitely got to ride some more. I've got some equipment choices to make too. I haven't really sorted out the bags and pieces and parts that'll help me carry everything, the kind of hydration pack I'll have. So I got to work on that soon and do some testing. I can't just pick it. I got to test it out. I can't let that be a race day activity. And then beyond that, we're just going to keep making progress towards the mental state that'll need to be in place. I think that's as big as anything with this. I'm still excited about it. I really believe in the momentum it's building. Hopefully that'll carry me at least 80 miles at the end of the ride. Don't forget, follow me on Strava, heckle me, encourage me. I need to be held accountable. And comment below. If you've got some experience, it might help me. I'd love to know about the gear you're using, the techniques you use to get ready, and what you're doing to enjoy the bicycle.